Hello everyone, I am Hazza from Hazza Reviews, and today I guess you figure out what we're reviewing today. We're reviewing the new Terminator movie, Terminator Dark Fate. I saw this, I would say, yeah, a week and a bit now. Sorry about this, I just need to grab a remote. So yes, I saw this about 2 weeks ago, and so this is my review. Now the reviews for this movie have been mixed. There have been good reviews, there have been bad reviews. People like it, they don't like it. What do I think of it? Honestly, I like it. I mean, honestly, it's not my favourite. But trust me, I've seen quite a few bad movies already this year. Films I'm not a big fan of, and there have been films also that I've watched before, and I slowly have seen more problems with it than when I first saw it. But this, you know what? Even thinking about it now, honestly, I think this is a really good movie. I can actually call it a great Terminator movie. I mean, it's not the greatest. Trust me, Terminator 2 is the best. But here we go. Let's review Terminator Dark Fate. So in this story, there's this young girl known as Danny, who lives in Mexico. She turns out to be the new leader of the resistance in the future. Now, this only counts Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 as part of this. As actually, the continuity of this movie is that only Terminator T1 and T2 happened, everything else didn't. So yeah, Skynet is no longer around, but there's this new organization called Legion, who are the new people and who have caused problems in the new organization that's pretty much destroyed the world. And there are new Terminators who don't use the new T model in there. Yeah. So Danny is the new leader of the resistance, so Legion sends a Terminator to go back and take her out. The resistance in the future sends Danny's friend from the future, a cybernetically enhanced human called Grace, to protect her. Grace protects Danny for the first, I would say, 5 minutes after meeting her, but it's clear that they're going to have struggle against the new Terminator, who has not only a humanoid, who is of course a cybernetic, robot underneath, but it can shapeshift between. Let's just say he can use these powers like the T-1000 by. It's sort of tough to say how to describe this new Terminator that's trying to kill Danny, but it's relatively like he can copy himself. Well, let's just say his human body, he can remove it from his cybernetic body for just to make more precision killing. Of course, so yeah, with this new Terminator, it seems like the two won't make it far. But in comes Sarah Connor. Now, as we know in the other movies, Sarah Connor died in between the events of T2 and T3. This one, Sarah's alive, and she's kicking Terminator's butts. She meets up with Danny and Grace, tells her what she's been doing all this time since Terminator 2. In this continuity, she receives information on when Terminators arrive, and she kills them. So she agrees to help the two, and helps Grace in her protection of Danny. Apparently, the person who's contacting Sarah about the Terminator's arrival, every Terminator who arrives to the past to kill someone, it just so happens to be is the person that Grace is sent to meet up with to help protect Danny. That of course being Arnie himself, the T-800. This time going by the name of Carl, a Terminator who succeeded in his mission, but was left without purpose after completing it. So now he's now developed a conscience and is raising a a family. Sarah's not too thrilled about this because it's the same sort of model that, even though it's aged, it's the same model that's tried to kill her multiple times. So, but she nevertheless agrees to have him join the team. And so it's up to, of course, we've got the T-800, otherwise known as Carl, Sarah Connor, Grace, and Danny, on out to destroy this Terminator and keep the future going strong. I keep the music going on, actually. So yeah, it's complicated, the story, but trust me, honestly, you can live with this story compared to, say, some of the other Terminator movies, specifically Salvation and Genesis, even more so in T3. But in the end, the story is actually pretty good, honestly. It sounded a bit more complicated the way I was explaining it, but trust me, when you watch it, it's not as bad. The writing, I gotta admit, is actually pretty good. In fact, there are some plenty humorous things, honestly. Like, there's a scene that, to prove that Grace is cybernetically enhanced to one of Danny's family members, she uses her finger to slice open a fly. That's actually pretty funny, honestly. And there's this really funny scene with Schwarzenegger where he basically describes what he's been doing and how he's been helping the family that he's raising. So yeah, I'm not going to reveal that many hilarious moments, but there are some pretty good moments. The director of this is Tim Miller, who directed the first Deadpool movie, and, well, as you know, James Cameron returns to produce the movie. So honestly, directing is handled pretty well. I think Tim Miller did a really good job in this. So yeah, and James Cameron producing it, plus for me. The effects are also pretty well. I mean, the effects that the Terminator effects are always at least pretty good. I gotta admit, the effects on the new Terminator handled pretty well, honestly. I really like them. And yeah, I've gotta admit, that was all good. And of course, we get my my favorite part of this is Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor and Arnold Schwarzenegger as the T-800. Their performances are amazing. Linda Hamilton, it's great to have her back in the franchise. She's funny, she's badass, she's completely into the role. You know you're going to enjoy her. She's absolutely a blast in this. It's a great return to form. Great to see the character again. And for those who are not too much of a fan of Schwarzenegger's performance in Genesis, this is a breath of fresh air. The T-800 Schwarzenegger plays in this movie has definitely got to be one of his best portrayals of the character. It's interesting to see how, I mean, we all know in Terminator 2 how he develops his feelings for and learns to evolve from what he was basically programmed in through his experiences with Sarah and John Connor in T2 for that version. But this one, he learns humanity on his own before the movie begins. So it's kind of actually pretty nice to see how he's developed his own conscience on his own, and how he's determined to help protect the human race, even now after finding his own new purpose after completing his original design. That's a pretty cool idea. And, well, Schwarzenegger, he's absolutely a blast in this too. I'm sure we can all agree that this is one of the Governor's best performances. It's a great return to form for him, and yeah, I gotta admit, both Schwarzenegger and Hamilton, they're the best part of this movie for everyone, honestly. I think this is the best part of the movie, just hearing Schwarzenegger and Hamilton return. They're a blast, and, well, with James Cameron on board, you can tell he helped them help them out with regain the, with James Cameron there to help them out even better. But yeah, of course there are problems. So yeah, I'm not gonna. Alright, look. Every Terminator sequel plus T2 has problems. And, well, yeah, this one has some too. So, there are some the movie is very similar to Force Away to Star Wars Episode 7. well, they frequently retread on moments in the past Terminator films, specifically T1, T2, and maybe a bit of T3 and everything else. So, yeah, it's not. I think there might even be retreading of the TV show, but I've never seen that. But regardless, it's not. Okay, look, we can accept it if it's handled well, and it's handled okay here, but I'm sure the best parts can be when either, as I said, when as much as you can look, I don't mind retreading if it's handled well, but it gets repetitive. That's all I've got to say. There are also the opening, to be honest, until Sarah arrives, is very fast paced. Honestly, I mean, you got everything's pretty much thrown at your face. Like specifically some of the problems Grace has, even though she's cybernetically enhanced. Her basically telling to Danny that she's trying to help her is pretty strange. It's pretty fast paced, as I say. It just gets thrown right at you. That you barely remember some of the things that Grace describes about herself and everything else in this film. Everything in the first, yeah, as I said, everything until we first get me up with Sarah is sort of thrown in your face too much. Danny's family in this, which we meet in the opening, are completely pointless. You didn't need to see them. You don't need them. Honestly, they try to be have a bit of a role, especially her brother in the first 10 minutes, but that doesn't go anywhere really. You could just kill them off the moment that the bad Terminator arrives to kill them. You don't need them. Honestly, they seem pretty pointless in this. They could have made Danny an orphan, and I'd be much happier with that in a way. And then we get to John Connor. I mean, we knew from what we've heard, that Edward Furlong would return as John Connor, but we weren't exactly sure what he would be doing. But let's just say, when we see John Connor in the opening of the movie, it can piss off a lot of... What happens in that scene will piss off a lot of fans of the Terminator series. I will admit, it didn't piss me off, but yep, it will definitely cause flack. It just depends whether you will accept the new rules of this new continuity, but, well, and you'll either don't mind it or hate it. I'm sort of in the don't mind category, but you will remember what happens to John Connor in the film. You'll remember the John Connor bit very well. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can probably guess where I'm going with this. So, yeah, let's just say the opening of John Connor could cause a bad taste in your mouth. But, you know, honestly, this is actually a really good movie, honestly. I find this a lot better than Joker, honestly. This was a fun time, and I had a lot of fun moments watching this. The action was good, the performances were stellar, there was some pretty good humor, the effects were great. May not have been a big fan of the opening and some of the retreads, but honestly, it's still a good time, honestly. I'd much rather watch this than everything past Terminator 3. Okay, I don't mind Terminator 3 for what it is, but it's not the best. And then, and of course, I haven't seen Salvation or Genesis, so, well, maybe one day, but I don't care. But basically, you can just go from T1, T2 to T Dark Fate, and you'll be fine. Honestly, this is the proper sequel. We should have got to T2 when T3 came out, and honestly, this is how it should have gone. This is a good movie, and I really hope it does do well. I mean, I've heard it's a box office bomb, and I'm upset about it because this is actually a really good movie. I mean, the past track record of the series has been bad, but this is a good return to form. As I said, it's basically the Terminator equivalent to Force Awakens. So yeah, I recommend you give it a go. It may be, at least figure out whether you will like it or not. Honestly, I like it, but I know there are people who don't like it. It's got a mixed reception, but go and test it out yourself and see what you think. So what am I going to give this? Well, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10 hat stars. It's a good movie for me, but I'm not sure how many others will like it. So, well, I reviewed two mixed bag movies that seem to be going in opposite directions. One's got a good box office, one's been decent at the box office, one hasn't. And well, my thoughts on I've got one that I like and one that I didn't. But yeah, we all have our own opinions on everything. So what's next for me? Well, I might have an idea of doing a game review coming up with, which is a collab. Then might do some more, maybe look at a book or two. Plus, who knows? I've got plans to review a few movies coming out in the future. I mean, one of the things is, upcoming movies I will see are Star Wars Episode 9 and The Addams Family, but there might be something else. But I'm not sure. I really don't know. Just depends on whether if I can see it or not. Probably will be bad from what I hear about it, but anyway, either way. House Master Reviews is out, and hasta la vista, baby.